What is up, everybody? It is JT Sports. I am back to you guys with another episode of the JT Sports Podcast. Before we get started, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys watching this video and are subscribed to the channel. I hope that you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Hope you guys eat well and that you guys stay safe. The Chicago Bears defeat the Detroit Lions 16-14. The Bears improved to 4-7 on the year. The Detroit Lions remain winless, falling to 0-10-1 on the season. Now, if you are a Lions fan, this probably was not the ideal start that you wanted to your Thanksgiving. And you're probably frustrated because this is another game that you played hard. You were in it to the very end, but you lost because you just couldn't get out of your own way. Now, I like Dan Campbell, but what I'm about to say may enter what a lot of people like to call hot take territory. The more I watch the Detroit Lions, and I've watched pretty much every single Lions game this year, the more I'm starting to feel like maybe Detroit made a mistake hiring Dan Campbell. And I know a lot of you Lions fans are probably going to say, hold up, JT, hold up. What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that the Lions should fire Dan Campbell? I'm not saying they should. All I'm saying is I'm starting to question the hire. Because, yeah, you can say, well, JT, Dan Campbell has the worst roster in the NFL. What do you want him to do? I understand that. But this is the second or third game that the Lions lost because they couldn't get out of their own way. They had so many penalties. They had 10 penalties in this game. And these weren't your normal face mask penalties or roughing the passer penalties. These were false starts. These were too many men on the field. This was a team that continued to shoot themselves in the foot. And there was an important moment in this game, in the fourth quarter. You want to know what decided the victory for the Chicago Bears? Wasn't the Bears. It was the Lions having too many men on the field. You cannot do this. You cannot continue to bite yourself in the leg. And I'm starting to look at Dan Campbell. And when you have a team that loses the way that the Lions lost, having too many penalties on the field, having too much dirty laundry, that falls on the coach. And I love Dan Campbell. I'm pretty sure a lot of you Lions fans love Dan Campbell. How can you not root for the Lions to win? I'm rooting for Dan Campbell to succeed. But the more I watch the Lions, the more confused I get. Because at this point, how much leeway can we give Dan Campbell without starting to second guess the hiring? And I'm not starting to second guess the hiring because this is another game that I feel that the Lions lost because Dan Campbell and this team couldn't get out of their own way. Now, I want to ask you guys this. Do you guys feel like the Lions are a better or worse team with Dan Campbell as their head coach compared to when they had Matt Patricia last season? Because around this time last year, the Detroit Lions had Matt Patricia going into a Thanksgiving game against the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans were running trick plays on the Detroit Lions, and it was a very embarrassing game. And not too long after, they ended up getting rid of Matt Patricia. So now I'm asking the question. Was it a mistake hiring Dan Campbell to be the head coach in Detroit? Because I know you can make the argument say that, well, JT, this team has been competitive all year long, and they have. But at the end of the day, I just can't keep giving the Detroit Lions participation trophies. You just can't keep cutting Dan Campbell slack saying, well, at least we're in the game. Like, you can't keep giving out participation trophies. Eventually, you got to be able to win one of these games. And this was a game that Detroit definitely should have won because I saw a lot of Chicago Bears fans worried, sweating, saying, oh, man, we're going to lose this game. And the Chicago Bears probably, in a lot of people's eyes, should have lost this game. But the reason why they didn't was because of Detroit. Detroit beat Detroit. And a lot of Lions fans going to say, man, the referees just don't like us. You can't keep making excuses for mediocrity. You got to be accountable. And I love Dan Campbell. But at the end of the day, I don't want to keep seeing tears at the podium. Lions fans don't want to see tears at the podium. Lions fans don't want to say, oh, we fought hard. It was a hard-fought game. Nobody want to see that shit no more, man. People want to see wins. People want to see you win these close matchups. And you're not doing it. So, on the scale 1 through 10, how would you rate Dan Campbell's coaching performance this year? Probably got to say a 2. Probably got to say a 2. This game isn't good when it comes to clock. This team isn't good when it comes to time management. You had a lot of penalties in this game. And you got to give a lot of credit to Jared Goff because he played a pretty good game. As a matter of fact, this is probably the best game that he's ever played so far during his Lions career. 21, 25, 171 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Meanwhile, you look at Chicago, this is a team that is struggling right now. This is a team that has a head coach that gets booed at every sporting event. Rather, is it college football, basketball? They have fire Nagy chants everywhere you go throughout the city of Chicago. And this is a game that Chicago definitely probably should have lost if Detroit didn't keep giving them multiple opportunities. There was a time during this game when it was 1st and 30. How does that happen? 1st and 30, the Lions had 3 straight penalties. This team just doesn't look prepared in certain situations. Or it doesn't look like this coaching staff or even Dan Campbell at times knows what they're doing. Does Dan Campbell even know what he's doing? I don't know. I'm not trying to say that he isn't because he's a head coach and I'm not. But at the same time, I look at Dan Campbell's facial expressions on the sidelines and he kind of looks lost. Now, when you look at Chicago, the run game didn't get going, but the passing game was on it today. When you look at Darnell Mooney, another great performance, 5 receptions, 123 receiving yards. Even though he didn't have a touchdown, he is really starting to emerge. And I really feel like Darnell Mooney is more than capable of being the number 1 wide receiver on this team. And if you're a Bears fan, you look at Allen Robinson, I don't really feel like they need Allen Robinson. I feel like they should just go ahead, let Allen Robinson walk away and allow Darnell Mooney to continue to grow and develop into this number 1 wide receiver because I really feel like they have a gem in Darnell Mooney. As a matter of fact, I have him on all of my fantasy teams. I drafted him before the season. So when you look at the Bears, definitely not the best performance offensively, but you got it done. Largely due in part to the Lions' incompetent coaching staff once again. And I honestly don't know where Detroit goes from here. Because you can say, yeah, they don't have the greatest roster. But even then, there were a lot of games this year that Detroit lost because their coaching staff looked incompetent in key moments. And I'm just wondering, how many games are the Detroit Lions just going to continue to lose because they shoot themselves in the leg? This is a game that Detroit should have won. I won't say easily, but they pushed themselves back so many times because of holding penalties, false start penalties. It's just inexcusable at this point. And I know Lions fans right now got to get tired of it. At what point do you just say, you know what? I just question the hire. And a lot of people think that you need several years to rebuild a franchise and things like that, which sometimes you do, even if you have a significantly bad roster. But even then, when you have a significantly bad roster, you still are going to be in certain games that you can win. The Texans have some wins, and they have just as bad as a roster as the Detroit Lions. I'm just saying, there are plenty of teams that have bad rosters that don't have a 0 in the W column. Just saying. Somehow, Detroit always ends up on the losing end. They find ways to lose games. So, you guys let me know your thoughts on this game down in the comment section down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you check out the JT Sports Podcast. Every video that is uploaded on the channel is available in audio format on every single podcasting platform: Spotify Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from. The JT Sports Podcast is available. All you got to do is type in JT Sports Podcast. It should pop up, or you can go down to the description down below and click one of the following links, and it will take you directly to the JT Sports Podcast. Make sure that you go ahead and leave a 5-star review on the podcast if you enjoyed this episode. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content. Hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving and enjoy the rest of your holidays.